Good evening, Clarice.
Good evening, Mr. Mullins. Hope you enjoy my shot by shot analysis of this scene from Silence of the Lambs. I really enjoyed this scene, this movie, this class. Hope you enjoy. Have a good one.
I thought you might like your drawings back, Doctor. Just until you get your view.
So, what's going on in this scene? Basically, Clarice and Hannibal are just trying to extract information from each other. Clarice wants to know more information about the murders of Buffalo Bill, and Hannibal Lecter basically just wants to know more about Clarice's dark past. So they do a little quid pro quo, as Hannibal states, and the two of them exchange information really at the expense of Clarice's emotional state. She explains her traumatic past in childhood, while Hannibal extracts her deep, darkest emotions, and it's just pretty intimate and scary.
How very thoughtful. Or did Jack Crawford send you for one last wheedle before you're both booted off the case?
No, I came because I wanted to.
Like, ew? This pretty much just shows how at this point in the movie, Clarice is completely emotionally submissive to everything Hannibal has to say. The two of them are completely enthralled by each other and how they operate, and it's just gross. Sorry, that's all I had to say about that. As you can see with these shots, the two of them are viewing each other from behind bars. This shows how the two of them still see each other as caged creatures, yet there's some sort of togetherness about it. They may be trapped separately, yet their minds are still going beyond these barriers.
People will say we're in love.
It's really gross and weird how a relationship between a cannibal serial killer and an FBI agent is more intimate and romantic than basically every other love story ever. Just ew. Again, the two main characters here are framed in the center of the shot, revealing how they are the main focal point of each other and the audience. As the director himself says, this sort of point of view shot is the most powerful shots of all time because it truly creates this tone of uneasiness from the audience and the characters.
Your anagrams are showing, Doctor.
Now, the camera movement follows the character's movement as well. The two of them are still completely trapped within each other's gaze, and now the audience are too. This generates an extreme sense of uneasiness and intimacy, as the tone of the scene would suggest. As the camera pans back and forth, never losing focus of each character's eyes, the audience completely surrenders to the creepy feeling the scene elicits.
Don't you feel eyes moving over your body, Clarice? And don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
All right, yes. And please tell me how.
No.
Again, this reverts back to the idea that the two of them essentially never break eye contact. Hannibal at least never does. Clarice is still uneasy and unsure of her own personal self. Hannibal knows Clarice desires him, whether it be emotionally or whatever he wants it to be. However, she is still unsure of what she wants out of life, but he is along for the ride to watch her struggle for it.
It's your turn to tell me, Clarice. You don't have any more vacations to sow. Why did you leave that ranch?
The camera speeds up, temporarily changing the tone of the scene. There is a high anxiety level now, and the onlookers, aka the policemen, represent a society that does not understand Clarice's and Hannibal's relationship. Not that they really understand it either.
After your father's murder, you were orphaned. You were 10 years old. You went to live with cousins on a sheep and horse ranch in Montana. And?
And one morning I just ran away.
If the scene wasn't creepy enough, now the audience has to be completely entranced by Hannibal's incredible power to just stare into someone's soul. The camera zooms in closer and closer until it's almost too much, and both Clarice and yourself are trapped in his gaze and soul.
It was screaming. Some kind of screaming, like a child's voice.
What did you do?
The whole intimate thing is kind of getting repetitive, but that's really the whole point of the scene. Not only is the camera drawing you in even closer, and now the wind sounds in the back take you back to her childhood, it just all makes it even creepier.
What did you see, Clarice? What did you see?
Lambs. They were screaming.
As incredible as Jodie Foster's performance is here, It's not really specific to what I'm going to talk about, but just want to say, definitely deserved the Oscar for this. Like, wow. I mean, the wind sounds, the close up, all just really attributes to an incredible performance by her.
I thought if I could save just one, but he was so heavy.
This reveals Clarice's real reason for coming to Hannibal, and whether she knows it or not, she came for him to stop the screaming that she hears. She wants him to help her save the one lamb that she couldn't before. This one lamb in this case is Catherine.
He was so heavy.
Now, like I said earlier, her interaction with the camera is a little bit different than Hannibal's. See, she never can make complete eye contact with her opponent, Hannibal, which proves, again, her uneasiness and unsureness of herself. However, as she does it more and more, it again shows how the two of them have created such a bond that cannot be broken.
What became of your lamb, Clarice?
I killed him.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lambs.
Yes.
And you think if you save poor Catherine, you could make them stop, don't you? You think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again to that awful screaming of the lambs.
I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you, Clarice. Thank you.
What we just watched is what I think is the most important part of the scene, if not the movie. Between the close-ups and quick cutting transitions to uphold the unwavering feeling of a conversation between Clarice, Hannibal, and the audience, the ultimate tone of fear is created. The music intensifies, and the lighting contrast truly reveals the nature of the characters. Hannibal is illuminated by a white background, ironically the color of purity, whereas Clarice is shadowed in darkness, displaying her confused and shielded nature. The cannibal, however, has been enlightened and has now made it his goal to try to make the lamb stop screaming for Clarice. In this sick display of compassion, a murderer becomes the guardian angel for the innocent girl whom is traumatized by her past. Together, the two let go of their reserves and submit themselves to each other, healing one another in the process.
Tell me his name, Doctor.
Dr. Chilton, I presume. I think you know each other.